Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Paula's Choice Daily Skin Clearing Treatment, which contains benzoyl peroxide. And benzoyl peroxide is an acne treatment that can not only help you with active acne, but at the same time with whiteheads and blackheads as well. And so when working with this treatment, they have two different strengths. They have a 2.5%, which is recommended for mild to moderate acne-prone skin, whereas their 5% is recommended for extremely stubborn acne. And so you're only going to use it on the affected area. And when being new to it, you can get started by using it once per day every other day, and then maybe increase the frequency and use it once per day daily, and then you can move up to either use it twice or up to 3 times per day. However, if during that time redness, sensitivity, pilling or flaking does occur, then you need to reduce the frequency of it, because then it's going to be a bit too much for your skin to handle. And so when working with benzoyl peroxide, I do like to use it myself when I'm experiencing like my acne flare-ups, especially once per month due to its hormonal related. And then when I like to use my benzoyl peroxide like treatment only on the affected areas, it can really help me to reduce it within a week. And so this is why I personally like to use benzoyl peroxide myself, and I prefer to keep the routine as simple as possible to really target that main concern. And so there are 2 ways on how you can work with benzoyl peroxide. Well, there are several ways, but I wanted to get into 2 different ways, which one would be how I like to use it, and the other one is how Paula's Choice recommends combining it. And so if you're being new to it, and of course depending on your skin types and how your skin is going to react to it, my best advice would be start off by using it at least for a while on its own to see how your skin is going to deal with benzoyl peroxide. And so then you're going to use it either in the morning and or evening in your skincare routine. And you can keep it very simple. So if you're going to use it during daytime after cleansing, make sure to choose a cleanser that's suitable for your skin type and needs. You're going to apply your benzoyl peroxide treatment only on the affected areas, and then give it a moment so it has time to absorb and dry, and then move on to sun protection, either moisturizer that already contains SPF or your regular sunscreen. And then if you're planning to use it in your evening skincare routine, it's very similar, just without the sunscreen part. So again, you're going to wash your face with a suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs. In this specific case, you may want to do a double cleanse as well to make sure that everything comes properly off the skin. And then after that, you're following with your benzoyl peroxide treatment, and then if you still should feel the need, use a moisturizer afterwards. So you need to make sure that you're going to adjust it accordingly to your skin type, since when working with benzoyl peroxide, it's not only for oily skin. I mean, benzoyl peroxide can make the skin dry. That's one of like the so-called side effects. This can happen, but this doesn't mean that dry skin cannot use it. So therefore you need to adjust it accordingly so that it feels good on the skin when dealing with it. And so this would be one example, and this is an example on how I like to use it myself. Like mainly without the moisturizer, I basically just wash my face, apply benzoyl peroxide and sun protection during daytime, and there you have it. However, if you prefer to use an exfoliant in the same routine when using your benzoyl peroxide, then it's fine to do so. And basically Paula's Choice has an entire clear line, since this is from the clear line, and they have a kit as well. And when ordering basically the set, they have a cleanser, they have their salicylic acid exfoliant and the benzoyl peroxide treatment. And then of course the moisturizer would be optional in that case. So you can use your salicylic acid exfoliant and benzoyl peroxide in the same routine if that's fine for your skin. However, if this combination should be too drying, I recommend either keeping them separate or just stick to either salicylic acid or your benzoyl peroxide, because both can work really well if you have acne-prone skin. And so the way that they basically explain to you how you're going to use it is, if you're planning on using it during daytime, well, start off with washing your face with a suitable cleanser. And then after that, you're moving on to the salicylic acid solution, or as an alternative, I have a salicylic acid serum as well, which is a bit more affordable. And then after that, you're moving on to the benzoyl peroxide treatment, and then follow with sun protection. So this would be a great example of morning routine when including salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide in the same routine. And then you may be able to do the same in your evening skincare routine if that's fine for your skin, or just use this combination once per day, so in the morning or evening. And so for your evening routine, it's basically the same without sun protection. So your cleanser, You may want to do a double cleanse depending on your sunscreen and or makeup. Move on to your exfoliant. After that, your benzoyl peroxide treatment, and then a moisturizer if needed. But again, I do want to repeat, please try benzoyl peroxide at first on its own, and then if that's fine, you can go ahead and add your salicylic acid exfoliant in the same routine and see how this goes. If dryness should occur, because salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide both can make the skin drier, then it's best to keep them separate. Use one in the morning, the other one in the evening, or just, again, as already mentioned, use one of them. And then there you have it, so that you have an idea of how you can work with it in case dryness occurs. And so overall, when working with a salicylic acid exfoliant, doesn't matter if it's a solution from their line or a liquid, a toner or serum, if you're using them in the same routine, or one in the morning, the other one in the evening, make sure that you're going to adjust the frequency. So you may not be able to use your salicylic acid exfoliant immediately daily in your skincare routine. You may want to start off by using it 2 to 3 times per week and then slowly increase the frequency over time, especially when working with benzoyl peroxide at the same time, so that you again can figure out what is working best for you. But benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid do not have any conflict. It's more about the dryness which can occur when using them in the same routine. And so this is overall a great example of how you can keep it simple, or how you can use it along with an exfoliant if you're planning on doing so. And I do want to quickly emphasize one more important thing. This does not only apply to salicylic acid, but for benzoyl peroxide as well. If you're being new to it, please make sure to do a patch test on your upper forearm. So basically, make sure that the area is clean and dry. Use a bit of the product. Use it on your upper forearm, and then leave it on the skin for 24 hours to see if any sensitivity occurs or not. If no sensitivity occurs, you're fine to include it in your skincare routine. So this is one step that I recommend doing before applying everything to your face. If you want to know how you can do a proper patch test, I have a specific video for you in the top right corner. Just exchange the product. The steps is going to be the same when doing a patch test at home. And then after that, everything went well, you can go ahead and start off with your skincare routine. And so I'm now going to get started with the application on my face so that you can see it visually when trying this out at home. Now, as I already mentioned, if you are just using benzoyl peroxide on its own, you basically can choose any cleanser that you like. This can be an exfoliating acid cleanser or a gentle cleanser. However, if you're planning on using a salicylic acid solution or serum in the same routine when using your benzoyl peroxide, please only stick to a gentle cleanser so that you're not going to irritate your skin too often. And so you either can go ahead with any cleanser that's working well for your skin type and needs. Since we're already using Paula's Choice Clear Line with the benzoyl peroxide treatment, I'm going to use their clear cleanser as well, which belongs to the same line. However, it's of course fine to use a different cleanser which you may have at home, as long as it does not irritate or dry out your skin in any way. Just make sure that you're going to read on the back of the packaging on how you're going to use your cleanser, if you have to apply it on dry or on wet skin, and then follow the instructions to properly wash your face. Doesn't matter if this is in your morning routine and or evening skincare routine. And so with this one, I have to apply it on wet skin. So the first step that I'm going to do is now wetting my face and neck with lukewarm water, and then I'm using a bit of the cleanser and then applying it to the skin. So let's go ahead and do this. So and then go ahead and use about 1 to 2 pumps, so about a coin size amount of your cleanser. About that much. Use it between your hands and then gently massage it all over your face and neck. So, and once you have massaged your cleanser all over your face and neck, you now can go ahead and again rinse it off with lukewarm water to warm water. Now, in case you should have troubles washing off the cleanser by just using your hands, you're fine to use a fresh and soft washcloth in between, which you can wet, and this can help you to remove the cleanser a bit better so that there's no residue left. So and now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. Now once you're done with washing your face and you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step. Now this can either be now moving on to your salicylic acid exfoliant, apply to the skin, then leave it on the skin and then move on to your benzoyl peroxide treatment, or you're going to skip the exfoliating acid part and then immediately moving on to the benzoyl peroxide treatment. And so I'm not going to apply an exfoliant to my skin. As I already mentioned, I prefer to keep it simple and I want to keep my focus on the benzoyl peroxide treatment only. And so when working with benzoyl peroxide, please keep in mind that this may bleach fabric. So when working with it, after you're done with the application, please immediately wash your hands and pat your hands dry. And when working with it, please make sure that there's no residue left and everything that you touch, that you're going to work with older towels or with light towels, because if you're working with towels that you truly love and they are basically dyed towels, the same would apply to cloths or also clothes, then it can really bleach it and then it can mess with the fabric. So if you want to avoid this, then I recommend being careful with it. And so when working with benzoyl peroxide and you're using Paula's Choice benzoyl peroxide treatment, this one is a very light gel. So it's like more like liquidish than a gel actually. And when using it, you're only going to apply to the affected area. So since I'm currently suffering from acne on certain areas, I only would use it on those specific parts. I wouldn't use it all over my face, but only where I really feel the need. Of course, if you have a larger area, such as you're experiencing acne on like your cheeks, then you would use it on the entire cheek where you experience your acne. Same would apply for your jawline. So you can either just pinpoint it depending on how much acne you have, or use it on a specific larger area where you have more acne spots basically at the same place. And so then go ahead and use Paula's Choice benzoyl peroxide treatment. And depending on how large the area may be, you don't need a lot. I really like to just use it on my finger to just specifically use it where I actually need it. So this would be right here on my forehead, and you only need a very thin layer of it. And then you can blend it into the skin so that it's going to quickly absorb and dry on the skin, so that you then can immediately move on to the next step if you feel the need of using a moisturizer afterwards. So, and once you have applied it on the affected areas, then now you can immediately go ahead and wash your hands and make sure that there's no residue left on your fingers before patting your hands dry. So now I do want to quickly emphasize one more important point, and this is when using benzoyl peroxide, please make sure to not use it on top of your eyelids. Please do not get it into your eyes. Please be careful around the eye contour and do not get it into your mouth. If that should be the case, rinse it immediately with water. And so this is how you can use it specifically on the affected area. Again, if it is a larger area, use a bit more product and massage it all over that specific area. If you have a few spots, then again, just keep it on that smaller area so that you can target your concern a bit more specifically. And so if this is now going to be your morning skincare routine, now you would be the time to follow with either a moisturizer that already contains SPF or with a regular sunscreen that's working well for your skin type and needs, so that it does not irritate your skin in any way or your eyes, and still can protect the skin from premature aging, from sun damaged skin, and because benzoyl peroxide may release free radicals, so that you really can keep the protection going when using it during daytime when being exposed to the sun. However, for me personally, the way I like to use it is mainly in the evening. So when it comes to my suggestion, I would use it just before going to bed, and then either just wash your face with a cleanser and then use your benzoyl peroxide treatment, and then there you have it, depending on your skin type. However, if you have a bit more of a drier skin type and you feel the need of using a moisturizer afterwards, then now would be the time to use a moisturizer afterwards. And then when applying a moisturizer, of course, make sure that you're choosing one that's working well for your skin type and needs, and that it does not cause more acne to your skin. So that's really something that you have to keep in mind because you're trying to reduce your acne-prone skin. And so if you're using a moisturizer, use a bit of it, like about a pea-size amount, more or less. If you have a drier skin type, a bit more, but I still recommend not overdoing it. And either apply it all over your face and neck or only on the affected area. Like if you have, for example, an oilier T-zone, then skip the T-zone, but just use it where you experience dryness. And then use it between your hands and then evenly apply it all over or just on the affected parts. So, and once you have applied your moisturizer, if you should feel the need of using one, then this is going to be your last step in your evening skincare routine. Otherwise, just keep it simple and just use the benzoyl peroxide treatment on its own or in combination with your salicylic acid product. And so this is basically how you can use Paula's Choice Daily Skin Clearing Treatment, which contains benzoyl peroxide, and how you can adjust it accordingly to your skin needs. Now, if you find those example skincare routines helpful, which I have shared with you earlier, I'm going to leave them in the description box down below so that you can download them and can go over it in your own time and then do your adjustments when trying it out at home. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skin caring. Bye!